Massive protests in Hong Kong are making Carrie Lam cry. Time to pack it in. Welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Okay, I have a message to the hundreds of thousands of protesters in Hong Kong who are upset about Beijing destroying their freedoms. You've gone too far. You've made poor Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam cry.
Some people say I'm betraying Hong Kong. How can I betray Hong Kong? I was born and raised here. I was growing up here with all the Hong Kong people.
That poor woman is just trying her hardest to make Beijing happy, and you keep asking her to step down. Have you ever tried walking a mile in her shoes, huh? Well, so you know how it feels to cry, she allowed Hong Kong police to shoot tear gas at protesters. And if that doesn't make you cry, the pepper spray and rubber bullets will do the job. Hong Kong police have been kicking around some other great ideas too. Wow, that's some good leadership, Carrie Lam. Don't feel too bad though, because the Chinese Communist Party's got your back.
China's central government will continue its firm support for the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government to push forward with its amendments of the two extradition bills.
Those extradition bills are the reason 1 million people protested over the weekend. If they get passed, Chinese authorities could in some cases order Hong Kong authorities to arrest and deport suspected criminals to mainland China. The Hong Kong legislature was supposed to debate the bill on Wednesday, but these pesky protesters got in the way. Look, those barricades are there for a reason, to block off the protest area right outside the legislature. Well, that plan clearly didn't work. At least 20 people were injured and the extradition bill debate has been delayed. Carrie Lam is calling the protests organized riots. And July 1st will be the anniversary of the 1997 British handover of Hong Kong to the Chinese Communist Party. That's just a couple of weeks away, so it's possible these protests won't be ending anytime soon. Now, in 2014, police also used tear gas on protesters, as well as some hefty violence. That resulted in a months-long occupation of downtown Hong Kong and international condemnation. So you'd think Hong Kong authorities would have learned their lesson, that maybe police brutality is not the way to deal with these kinds of issues. Protesters, on the other hand, have learned from the 2014 umbrella movement. Back then, they used umbrellas to block police pepper spray. They're doing that again this time too, just with better branding. There's a promo for the new Spider-Man Far From Home movie. And for some reason, I have a sudden urge to go to the 7-Eleven in Hong Kong. In fact, that's just what I'll do. By the time this video comes out, Matt and Shelly and I will be on our way to Hong Kong to do interviews, live streaming, and umbrella shopping, assuming we aren't illegally stopped at the border. But as for Carrie Lam and her crocodile tears, all I can say is, see you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. So what do you think of the growing protest movement in Hong Kong? Leave your comments below. And before I go to Hong Kong, it's time for me to answer a question from a member of the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, the fans who support the show on the crowdfunding website Patreon. Christopher Viuso asks, why can't the US and other countries just kick China out of the WTO? Now that's a good question. China has broken so many of its World Trade Organization promises over the years, so why not just kick China out? Certainly, some in the Trump administration have suggested it. The problem is, the WTO doesn't actually have a way to force a member out. In fact, no country has ever left the WTO, let alone gotten expelled. But according to the Wall Street Journal, there is an article that can achieve the same thing. Using Article 23 might allow for amendments to the WTO Charter that outright prohibits all the things China is doing, which would then force China out of the WTO. The problem with that is the WTO usually requires unanimous votes for doing something, so China could just veto the whole thing. But if that happens, it is still possible if there's a vote by a supermajority of members. So, kicking China out of the WTO would be new territory. Possibly China's sacred territory. Thanks for your question, Christopher. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to support China Uncensored, visit patreon.com/China Uncensored and pledge $1 or more per episode. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.